Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today let us discuss on herd immunity. So let us know what is herd immunity. Oh, let us begin our topic on herd immunity. Yes. What is herd immunity? So let us see. It is a form of indirect protection from infectious disease that occurs when a sufficient percentage of population has become immune to an infection, whether it may be through vaccination or by previous infections, so thereby reducing the likelihood of the spread of the infection for other individuals who lack immunity. So this is the definition of herd immunity. So let us see what are the things. When most of the population is immune to an infectious disease, this in turn provides indirect protection, also known as herd immunity, to those who are not immune to the disease. So let us take for an example. So 95% of the people have developed immunity in themselves. So the rest of the, due to the development of immunity, they will not spread that infection for the rest of the other 5%. So this is the meaning of herd immunity process. After the development of antibodies, they are resistant and they won't spread the disease for the other populations who are susceptible for the disease. They won't spread it. This is the meaning of this herd immunity. So measles, mumps, polio, chickenpox are all the example of infectious disease that were once a very common but are now rare because vaccines have been developed due to this herd immunity process. So let's take an example such as viruses that attack an individual leading to the infection. So later after the recovery process, so antibodies are produced after recovery. So all these factors matters. In few of them antibodies are produced, in many of them antibodies will not be produced. So all these criteria matters in development of herd immunity process. So let us see. If a virus attacks an individual leading to the infection later after recovery, and if the antibodies are produced after recovery, these antibodies can be used for the development of vaccination. So this is an example how the vaccination can be made. So if antibodies are not produced, then vaccination cannot be possible. So it cannot be made. So other viruses which causes flu, for example, they mutate very soon over a time. So antibodies, if produced, they provide protection only for a very short duration of time. So all these criteria matters very much. So let's see what are the important points in herd immunity and things like that. So herd immunity is a concept used for vaccination. So in which a population can be protected from a certain viruses only if the threshold of the vaccination is reached or is attained. So this is very important because in order to develop herd immunity, that is the threshold of the vaccination have to be reached or it has to be attained. Only then herd immunity concept can be used. If the threshold level of the vaccination is not available, then herd immunity process cannot be made. So there is a process of doing this. So known as threshold of vaccination. If it is reached, only then it can be used for herd immunity process. We cannot just allow the infections to spread as such rapidly over a population randomly. So that is very dangerous. So that cannot be made. So all these things that cannot be made, and that is incorrect also. So all these things contribute in the development of herd immunity process. So there is a method to use the herd immunity process. Only if the threshold of the vaccination is attained, only then herd immunity can be made. So over a large group of population, there are many criteria. Over a large group of population, if the infected individuals over a large group of population, if they develop immunity, and those antibodies after the immunity process can be used for the preparation of vaccination. So that vaccination, if the threshold of that vaccination is attained to a certain level which is required, only then that can be made used for this herd immunity process. So in order to make herd immunity, we cannot just randomly allow the infection to spread as such. So that is very important thing to be noted. So herd immunity depends on the contagiousness of the disease. So how it spreads and things like that. We cannot just allow the infections to spread rapidly over a population in order to develop herd immunity. So people have to develop immunity against the infections. If the immunity is developed, only then there is a chance of making herd immunity. So many people may not make immunity also after the infection. So there are many criteria. So each individual's immune response is different. So immunity is it is very specific for each people. My immunity may be different, your immunity may be different over a large group of population. Each person's immunity differs from each other. So few of the antibiotics may not work for some people, and for the same antibiotics may be working for other people. So the immunity and how the body reacts to antibodies, and it all depends on it is very specific for every individual. So each individual's immunity is also different. Okay, all these things are very important to know. So, but unfortunately, we do not know properly that how many people develop immunity after the particular infection or the disease. So that is also a major thing. So many people may not develop antibodies also after the infection is over. So in that process, nothing can be made. So all these are major criteria. Okay, let us see the main factors. So what are the main factors? Firstly, it depends on how many people develop immunity after the infection. That is the first point. So first point is that people have to develop immunity. If the immunity is not developed after infection, then there is nothing can be made. So that is the first point. The second point is how soon the vaccine can be made available. So that after reaching the threshold of the vaccination level, that is threshold level has to be reached. Only then vaccination can be made. Okay, all these things are very important. And the next point is that how many vaccine doses will be available for distribution processes. So all these things play a very major role for herd immunity process. So I hope this video is useful for most of you. Okay then, have a nice day. Thank you. Bye-bye.